Air transportation is indeed an important aspect of economic development, and the cargo subsector does play a vital role. With data from the International Air Transport Association showing the global air freight markets in September 2017 rose 9.2% compared to the same month in 2016, and African carriers posting the largest year-on-year increase in demand in all regions. We'll once more take a look at the cargo subsector. Plus, Airbus predicts China is the next aviation powerhouse. That's a sneak preview. Welcome to Aviation This Week on Channels Television. I'm Bukola Joe Oketumbi.
Air freight plays a critical role in global trade, transporting some 35% of goods traded internationally. Air freight services are mostly used for cargo transported across an extremely long distance or for goods that are relatively light and of high value. Air cargo is any property carried or to be carried in an aircraft.
I can't tell them that one. You will not come. Because I have a few. No, I will not tell them. I'm not.
According to the International Air Transport Association, IATA data for global air freight markets in September 2017 and October showed that demand measured in freight ton kilometers rose 9.2% compared to the same period in 2016. This was the slowest pace of growth seen in 5 months. However, it was still significantly higher than the 5-year average growth rate of 4.4%. In October, global freight markets slowed from 9.2% annual growth recorded in September, but still exceeded the average annual growth rate of 3.2% over the past decade. While IATA statistics show an African carrier posted the largest year-on-year increase in demand of all regions in September, with freight volumes rising 17.7%, the situation in Nigeria's air cargo imports is not bright.
Before now, we used to be import dependent, and unfortunately, the recession has plunged the country into a state where import has dropped drastically. And we have very few consignment coming in from all over the world. So, and for a country like Nigeria, where we need to generate enough forex to balance out the economy of the country, it is important for us to export some of our food items and other materials into the outside world, where we can generate enough forex for the economic stability of the country.
The biggest challenge that the cargo subsector faces is a multiplicity of fees.
Having to produce documents from one to the other, and this is not making things to be easy for those that intend to go into this business. There are some appointed agents or whatever. They will, after you might have paid the fee, then they will come up with some charges that you have to pay, which are outside the fee that you have to pay to the government. And after these two, there are some documentations of papers that, I don't know where it's come from. For me, we cannot do it. So it is those agents that will bring them up from, I don't know anyway, but we have to pay for them. These are an add up to the cost that we do not even expect. And these are another, markup to our own cost. So it's not making the business to be easy for us at all.
Air cargo is about speed. When you are bringing in spare parts of machineries, they need to get these things as fast as possible. A little spare parts can ground a whole factory. So they want to get these things as fast as possible to fix the machines and keep working. It could be raw materials. So the air cargo is all about speed. So anything that will delay it is not good. Whether you call it documentation or whatever, that delays air cargo is not good for the economy, as a matter of fact.
Figures from the National Bureau of Statistics in the first quarter of 2017 showed that cargo movement decreased by 24% relative to the previous quarter and by 2% relative to the same quarter of the previous year. Consequently, the total volume of cargo movement was over 41 million kilograms compared to over 54 million kilograms in the previous quarter. The Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos accounted for 90.3%, a higher share than that in the previous quarter of 87.3%, but slightly lower than the share in the first quarter of 2016 of 91.1%, while Port Harcourt Airport accounted for the second largest amount of cargo in the first quarter of 2017. The strong performance of air freight demand corresponds with the pickup in global trade. World trade volumes grew by 4.2% in the first 7 months of 2017 compared to 2016, their strongest performance since 2011.
The cargo outlook in Africa may look. Cargo imports in Nigeria is unusually at a low ebb, though exports are encouraging. Let's hear more from our guest.
This year there is a slight decline in the import sector of this Nigerian economy. This has to do with first the increase in the exchange rate, which affected many importers from actually, go the normal hog of the way they bring imports to Nigeria. So there is a slight decline in the import sector in the economy of this year. An average Nigerian businessman relies on dollar exchange rate from the black market. And 2-3 years back, you can agree with me that the exchange rates hovers around 180 something to 190 something. Yeah. So if you're an importer, the tendency of you traveling more than 4 or 5 times because of the low